welcome to Total Running Club's podcast. I'm Jeff Ross, and my guest today is the co-owner of Dorigo Events, who are best known, of course, as the organisers of the Kuala Lumpur Standard Chartered Marathon. Rainer is a Swiss national living in Malaysia since 2009, and he himself is a very good runner, as he recently proved in a virtual 5K with a podium performance. we could argue he had a bit of help from two quite strong teammates, but I won't go into that. Don't argue. Okay, so hi Rainer, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Great. So I'm going to keep things back a bit, talking about KL Marathon. If you don't mind, I'd just like to ask you firstly, what was it that brought you to Malaysia? Was it love or was it money?
Love. Looking at the current situation, there is no money to be made. No, it was in 2008. Actually, I traveled. Where did you go?
I'm back.
In 2008, after the Euro 2008 in Switzerland and Austria, I was actually project manager for Carlsberg to manage Euro. Then I was a bit exhausted. I had 5 weeks of leave. So I used that leave to travel Southeast Asia. I bought Lonely Planet, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. Booked the flight to Bangkok and the back flight from Singapore, and then just made my way through the countries.
Right.
And then I met this girl. Things happened. And so once I went back, Kay is Muslim, I kind of just bring her to Switzerland. So I was looking for a job in Malaysia or Southeast Asia or somewhere. And since I was working for Carlsberg, I sent my CV to Copenhagen. That fella sent my CV to London. Carlsberg back then was main sponsor of Liverpool, which is now Standard Chartered.
Mm-hmm.
And that fella sent my CV to Beijing. And then Beijing called me up and said, well, we just acquired the rights for the KL Marathon in Malaysia, and we need some help. So that was in October 2008. So in January 2008, I came for an interview, and on 14th of February 2009, January 2009, I came for the interview, and in February 2009, 14th February, Valentine's Day, I touched down.
Wow.
And here I am, still here.
Been here ever since, right?
Yeah, don't go
Very
anywhere.
Good. And have you always been interested in sports? I believe you used to play football.
Yeah, I was quite a, how shall I say, avid football player. Highest amateur league in Switzerland, so you get like paid, I don't know, 3,000 ringgit a month. But you work alongside, so you train just in the evening. It's not a full-time job. And I really loved it. And I entered the sports industry in 1997. I was working for a bank in the sponsorship department, orienteering, Swiss football national team. Then I moved on to alpine skiing, global, traveled around. Then I moved from being a sponsor for a company to organizing events. So I went to IMG, International Management Group in Switzerland, organized Tour de Romandie and Tour de Suisse. And then I got a call from Carlsberg, football Euro 2008. And I was like, me, football player, that's the best thing I can ever get. And The rest I
Right.
told you before. So that's how I ended up here
And
doing
would,
marathon.
would you have liked to have been a professional footballer?
Yeah, absolutely, but not enough skills. I was hardworking, number 6, defense, midfield, or central defense. But no, I had a good eye, but my legs get in my way. No,
Okay.
would have been nice, but
Yeah. And
not enough
do you
talent.
follow a team? Do you have a Premiership team that you follow?
Well, I mean, Liverpool, based on the history of Carlsberg being involved there. I like Barcelona on an international level, although they have to catch up a little bit. In Switzerland, it's Basel, and in Scotland, I don't know, Celtic, maybe.
Let's not talk about Scottish football. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting background. Thanks. So let's talk about KL Marathon. That's what everyone
Yeah,
wants to hear about. I think probably 99% of our audience will have run at some point in some category of the KL Marathon. It's a vastly popular event for anyone who doesn't know about it. It's the key event on the KL running calendar. It's got harder and harder to get a ticket over the years, which is testament to the success of the event, which is fantastic. So I'm going to hit you with an easy question first, Rainer.
yeah.
Which is worse, haze or COVID?
COVID. As simple as that. I mean, COVID is no revenue at all for anyone. I mean, haze. It's not that Dido Events is just doing KL Marathon and nothing else. I mean, we have, of course, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of cones, barricade, water barrier, and safety stuff, which other events actually rent from us. So if there is haze, you need to call it off, then by all means, but there's still some side business. Haze, COVID is just bad. Yeah, nobody gets anything.
We'll talk about COVID later for sure. It's obviously an important subject, but I don't want that to be the whole focus of this. Let's keep some positive. So a lot of people and the average person that comes and runs in your event, they turn up, they do the run, and they go home, and they probably think, "Wow, that was a very successful event. I wish I had Rainer's job. He works 1 week a year and makes a nice income." Is that the case?
Sure. No, I mean, it's if you're an event owner, you can be an event agency. So a company is coming to you and say, okay, I want you to organize, for example, Bursa Bull Charge, which we did for 5 years, where you just have to fulfill your obligations as a contractor. And then you have KL Marathon, where you actually own the event. And it's about, what shall I say, 6 to 7 months, quite hard work. Of course, the last 2 months is insanely crazy. But after the event, you need to go and sell again. So you need to, knock on all the doors and saying, "Oh, I want some money. You want to be sponsor?" La la la. Sales decks flying around. So it's not an easy job. And
it's not as easy as people think, I'm sure. So what happens after 12 o'clock on race day, when everyone's buggered off home and gone to bed and had their lunch, and I imagine there's a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, I mean, everyone goes to sleep. I haven't slept by then for 24 hours. And then I scroll through the results, make sure all the results are in order. I mean, our timer is very good, and he pre-select all the disqualifications, etc. But you still need to have an eye to go through. Plus, you need to bring back all your stuff from the event site. All the A-boards and the banners and the barricades and what have you. The event is not over until it's over. So that takes another week. and then you all can go coma for a day or two. That's fine, but it's not over when you guys are going home.
No, I get that. Yeah. What's your secret then to stay awake? Because you, when we see you and we're queuing up on the start line, you already look pretty knackered. But is it coffee or Red Bull? What's your secret?
Both. Actually, there is a 7-Eleven around the corner. I'm a very good customer, getting my Red Bull over there. But of course, 100 plus helps me with staying awake. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, I think it's mostly the adrenaline, the excitement. Oh, people are coming, people are happy. Then you kind of, that's my best coffee actually. And if they come back, everyone healthy, you a bit earlier than others, then I'm happy. I mean, that's what we work for, make people happy.
I remember watching, I can't remember which year it was, but there was a lovely clip on YouTube of the last runners on the marathon. Is it 8 hours or 7 hours cut off? I can't remember what your cutoff is, but the last runners coming in, and they were just sort of about to get cut off, and you were almost dragging them over the finish line. I love watching that clip. It gives you sort of goosebumps. Is that a happy feeling for you?
Okay, put it that way. It was 2018, I think, when we really started to enforce the cutoff time, 7 hours and 15 minutes. 7 hours and 15 minutes, because our net time cutoff time is 7 hours. And we need 15 minutes to clear the start line. So I was like, I'll just add another 15 minutes for having 7 hours net time. The moment people crossing the finishing line at 7 hours 15 was very emotional, but I was the guy who closed the barricades. And then I shook hands with 100 runners, telling them, sorry, you have been on the road for 7 hours 15, but you don't get any medal, you don't get anything. Come back again next year, thank you. So that was I don't know. It's emotional on both ends. Being happy and being sad for the others. And I saw the running community actually appreciating that. Just enforce things, not just everyone medal t-shirt what have you. So we're gonna continue that path, and I hope over the years. We're just going to have a marathon like all the big ones. Berlin is just, you run a marathon. So, bye, Jeff. No more marathon for you. But that takes another decade. We're not there yet. But we have seen a steady growth. And I would like to reduce the finishing time a little bit, but Malaysia is not that far yet. And we want to encourage people to run a marathon and not be as strict as Boston. If you don't run a 4-hour marathon, you can't participate. No, we are way away from that. So we want to encourage people to run long distance. And it's nice to have different categories, 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. But of course, the crown discipline supposed to be the marathon, because it's called the Kuala Lumpur Standard Chartered Marathon.
Okay. And let's take a step back. So a couple of days before the race day in a normal year, when you've got your race going on, what are the things that you fear the most, or you stress about the most?
Just last minute requests. Some minister coming in all of a sudden, or sponsor, they have a board meeting and you need to show up. PDRM coming, okay, detailed briefing, what's going on here and there. The last week, actually leading up to the marathon, I don't have any schedule. I'm not involved in race pack collection, for example. That's a huge thing. I mean, it's KLCC, a lot of booths, a lot of vendors. I'm totally out of it. If I have time, I swing by. If time permits. If not, then I'm just free for everyone who needs something. The Malaysia Athletic Federation, DBKL, PDRM, who have you. I'm just basically sitting in my office while race pack collection is going on and just waiting for calls to come and say, okay, RB, come over, we need something. And then I go. It's not really stressful. I've learned over the years what's happening over the past in the last 2 weeks. So I just keep myself available for whoever needs to see me.
Yeah. Okay. And the weather, how closely do you monitor the weather, or do you not stress too much about the weather?
Oh, I do. I have like 10 weather apps on my but there again, I mean, I'm in close contact with PDRM, and PDRM is the first office actually to move out if there are thunder and flood issues and what have you. So they're going to tell me, well, rain is coming very close, might be a bit dangerous, etc. But from a rain perspective, we're quite lucky. I mean, we have once in a while a shower during the event. 2019, we had one before the start. Actually, I was a little bit worried. I checked my phone all the time, called PDRM all the time, saying, where is it going? Where is it going? Where is it going? They're like, oh, we're going there. It's not coming here. I was like, okay, let's go. Yes, it's always a bit of a worry, but mainly, heavy rain or storm, it's in the evening, and we're starting at 3:45. So we have once in a while a shower, but it's okay, manageable.
So the start time, I mean, anyone who's from Europe or lives in Europe will sort of be in disgust when they hear that a 4 a.m. flag off, but we're kind of used to it over here. But it's pretty tough to start a race at 4 in the morning or midnight. So have you ever thought about changing that, or does it have to be 4 a.m.? Is that the right time?
Why 3:45 for a full marathon? The problem is we have a cutoff time of 7 hours. So if I start the race at 6, people come back at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're going to drop like flies on the highway.
Yeah.
And yes, we have 28 ambulances. Our medical staff is 500 people. But if I start the race at 6 o'clock, I need to beef up my medical staff to 1,000 people and 50 over ambulances because people they're going to drop.
Yeah.
It's too hot. It's too humid. On the other hand, starting a midnight race, we're not somewhere on an island. We're in Kuala Lumpur. It's the capital of Malaysia. They have a vibrant nightlife. We're running in the city center. People are going home from clubbing at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock for those who are late. I cannot start earlier, otherwise it's going to total mess in the capital. With all the clubbers going home in their cars, and we have runners running all over the place. That would be too much of a headache for everyone. So it's a bit of a compromise, having life going on in the capital of Kuala Lumpur and having a safe and not so humid or hot race in the capital. So 4 o'clock is kind of the compromise. I mean,
yeah. There's no easy solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
know you don't like to get up early, but
no, I don't mind the sun. I'd be happy to run later. But just coming back to the point you made there about safety, and I imagine it's one of your biggest fears and your biggest focus areas is to get every single runner back over the finish line without incident, and that must be a huge relief when you achieve that. And there's obviously a lot of factors out with your control, and there's been many races in Malaysia where some standards haven't been as good as they probably need to be, and there's been accidents and incidents, and it's terrible if that happens. So is that a major worry for you?
absolutely, that's what I'm worrying about. And you need to put a lot of infrastructure out on the track. And what we do is we have a meeting with traffic police.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the route. This is how we're going. La 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 la. And I had to fight quite a bit to get, for example, Jalan Kuching completely closed. First, they were like, not enough runners. You can manage somehow on one lane. In the meantime, we're so big, they say, okay, we put some water barriers at the roundabout, and Jalan Kuching is closed, and it's your own. That's our advantage for being so big. In the meantime, other events, they don't have that luxury, or I'm not sure calling it luxury, but they don't have that many runners, and where police is saying, well, half, one lane cars, one lane you can run. And then you need to whack water barrier and cones like nobody's business. And if you're some, not many, but some, they put a cone every 50 or 100 meters. That doesn't give you anything to safety, nothing. Cone every 10 meters so the car driver can see, not go left, right, etc. So yeah, it's a big worry for me. So I always put that task actually on traffic police plate, saying, well, this is the route. Here's where we're running. You tell me how much infrastructure you need. I will provide manpower. I'm doing the setup, etc. But you tell me from that stretch to that stretch, I need 1,000 cones. Then I'll get 1,000 cones. I have 2,500 cones myself, and I always rent from all the other race event organizers, rent their cones as well. We have 1.8 kilometer barricades at Atramadeka, just to ensure flow is going right, nobody gets hurt, la la la. So yeah, the most money goes into operations. Yeah, we have a little bit fancy marketing here and there, but 70% of the money goes in operations. Yeah, that's a must.
I mean, most people think running an event is easy, and there's been so many events over the last 5 years, some weekends, like 20 running events in KL. It's just crazy. And I think everyone assumes it's an easy money maker, but you don't actually make much money without a sponsor, right? Ticket sales just covers it.
Yeah, so registration fee, KL Marathon contributes to 33% of the operations cost. So without a sponsor, this event on that magnitude, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Just so everyone, and registration fees, we are still at 100 ringgit for a full marathon. There are other events on a 50, 140 ringgit. We are lucky that we have a faculty sponsor. Of course, my business partner, Gloria. Hi, Gloria, if you're watching. She's doing all the marketing and PR, and that's an important thing for sponsors. Get on TV, get PR value, get newspaper articles, etc. So that's why they say, okay, that's actually worth it. If I would buy ads, it would cost me 1 million. well, now I put that million to Dirigo, and they're giving me ad value for 10 million. That's how you gain sponsors, and that's always the in between part, trying to sell your event and get sponsors. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing.
Okay, let's come back to COVID now. So it's obviously had a huge impact on events sector and mass participation here in Malaysia and across the rest of the world. We're struggling in Malaysia, and we're continuing to struggle, and it's going to be a long time still before any events are able to happen, it would seem. What about Tokyo Olympics, first of all? What are your thoughts on that going ahead next month?
Well, I mean, you need to look at it country to country. I know in the Netherlands there was a national football game, and they actually had 5,000 spectators. They put 1,250. You sit in masks over here. 1,250. You sit in masks over here. No social distancing. 1,250. You sit over here. Social distancing, and they're trying. No MMA fights in a full stadium in the US. Tokyo had a pre-Olympic trial half marathon in Sapporo, where Fern was running and Prabudas was running, and was running a new national record. Congrats to him. Under strict SOP, so you come there, quarantine for 10 days, etc., etc. So I'm actually in favor of the Olympics to carry on. But I don't think they allow spectators, which Olympics mainly is a TV event anyway. I'm in favor of having it. At some point, we need to get back. We can't just hide all the time in our rooms and just tag along. We need to show efforts to get the sports industry back on track, and at some point, spectators as well. So here comes the whole vaccination process, which I'm not going to take a deep dive here. But I hope that every government all over the world is supporting the distribution of the vaccine and make it affordable. Bring it to the people, not let the people to come to you to get a vaccine. Go and get there where your client is and inject. And that's how the whole world comes back to business. Not only sports, or in our case, mass participation. It's everyone's life at the end of the day. And we all, at some point, paying taxes, contributing to the country. So it should be in the country's interest to get everyone vaccinated and go back to normal.
Yeah, fully agree.
Moved around a little bit.
Well, I think you and I, we've spoken about this privately, Rainer, and we share the same view for Malaysia, and we share the same hope that the country will move forward, because it's behind where it needs to be, and people need to come together. They need to abide by the rules. We need to be a little bit less selfish and look at the bigger cause. I hope we can all do that, and we hope and pray that Malaysia will get over COVID, because we've still got some work to do, that is for sure.
I mean, we shut down the country in March 2020 with 250 cases, and now we're about 7,000 a day. So, I mean, I analyzed the whole thing back to Spanish flu, with how many waves and how did it look like, blah, blah, blah. But it's different. Now we have all the mutations flying all over. I'm sure it's not easy for government either. But at some point, we need to, get back to life. and everyone plays a role. I mean, I know it's MCO here now. You cannot run before 7. You can only run from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Alone. While I see from my terrace over there, before 7 a.m., people in groups are running. We all are in this together, and we only get out of this together as well. So if you have selfish people, don't care, la la la, it's just getting longer for everyone to get out of this circle. So I hope everyone watching this podcast follow SOP, help the running community. Everyone wants to go back to races, to events, be it KL Marathon, be it whatever other 10K half marathon event. If we don't pull this ship together, it's never leaving the harbor. So please, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Rainer. I absolutely share that sentiment. Okay, well, let's move on to a little bit more positive. I've got a few last questions for you, then I'm going to ask you our quick fire 3 questions.
All right.
I wanted to know, go for it. I wanted to know, what do you do with all the leftover bananas? Do you have any leftover bananas?
Yeah, we do.
Who gets them? Is it Gloria? Does she eat them all?
Yeah, it's like go and have some food. No, we actually bring it to Masjid Jame.
Ah, okay.
To the mosque for the worshippers. They have free bananas for a couple of days.
A couple of months.
We're having 8 tons of bananas. So there are always like, I don't know, 50, 60 crates left, and just bring it to the mosque, and they're always happy. It's not too far from us to bring.
And volunteers, is it easy to get volunteers? I always am very grateful when I see the volunteers on any race. I think they do a great job. Is it easy?
Easy? No, it depends a little bit. I mean, I can tell you, we have 2,400 volunteers. There are some regulars who directly contact us, aunties and uncles. They're really cool. And then we just go and hunt university students. So we have certain contacts. It's not that we are doing volunteer recruitment ourselves. We have outsourced that to Ironman, who's sourcing it for us and managing it as well. And you always have dropouts, and there was one situation one day. We had haze prior to the event. The event happened, it was 2018. The event happened because there was no haze at that point. But volunteers kept dropping out because the parents said, it's haze, you're not going. So I was like, I cannot stage an event without the volunteers. But weather forecast looks promising. There might be no haze. So what are you doing? Trying to, convince all the volunteers or their parents or their teachers that it's going to be fine. I even bought 1,500 face masks, N95 face masks, just in case that they really want to be assured. And I was sitting on those face masks until COVID-19. I saw them.
They've come in handy now.
There was no PPN around. Everyone is screaming for face mask. I was like, well, I have there. It's volunteers they really want to come and they enjoy it. And I rather have too many volunteers than too less, because it shouldn't be hard work. They get a token, they get a T-shirt, they get an event experience, and I rather have 500 too many, so you don't have to do that much, than keep it on a small scale where everyone has to work like mad, because then you just make them angry and they won't come back, etc. So
Yeah. Oh, they're very important, and it's always a pleasure when they're cheering. My favorite is Marathon Mohan. I don't know if he's an official volunteer, but he's always there with his whistle somewhere near the finish line.
Anywhere where I run, I see Mohan somewhere.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a good
Right,
spirit.
Rainer, I've got 3 questions for you. Quick answers, please. What's your favorite Malaysian food?
My favorite, rendang.
Rendang, okay. Chicken or beef?
Beef.
If there was one sporting event anywhere in the world that you can enter, what would it be as a participant?
Football World Cup.
Okay. How about a running event?
Yeah, I haven't seen all the running events. I mean, I just read about it. I was in Berlin. It was quite nice, but maybe I'd say Kuala Marathon as a participant.
You've never done it?
No. I ran a 5K once on a Saturday, but that's it. I don't have time.
No,
love to join and see and then complain to the organizers.
Well, I'll have a word with Gloria. Maybe we can get you in the kids' dash next year. Let's see. You probably still get beaten.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, last question. What do you love most about the sport of running?
The community. I've been involved in sports since 1997. I said that when I entered, and I have experience with national players in football. They can be a bit arrogant, and they know you and you work on it, but they don't know you anymore once you're not involved anymore. And the whole endurance industry, I was involved in triathlon, orienteering, marathon. It's just a different species, to put it that way. Last year, we do a virtual run. I called in a few favors. Didn't pay a single dollar to anyone. Everyone came back with a video. National record holders, you came back. Everyone just, we're part of the game. Try that with football players. No way. You pay first, and maybe I give you something.
Yeah.
So the whole running community as such is just so amazing. Endurance, even cross country. They're just, I don't know, regular human beings being cool and helping everyone else. That's what I like most. You're a cool guy.
Yeah, nice answer. I agree with that, and I've said it so many times that everyone that comes to my classes, I honestly can't think of one person that I've had an issue with or dislike. With the running community are just very positive people. Anyone who wants to get up at that hour to go running, they've got to be a little bit mad and a bit positive, and I think it's fantastic. Yeah, so it's nice to hear that. So thanks so much for sharing some personal bits and pieces and some little snippets about behind the scenes of the marathon.
Way more. I'm going to write a book one day.
Yeah. So we wish that an event will return soon, be it your one or anything else, and we hope we can all work towards that eventually. In the meantime, thanks for tuning into the podcast, and please check out Total Running Club website. There's lots of free content you can receive, including the podcasts, music, workouts, articles, things like that. So just sign up for free on our website. Rainer, thank you so much.
We'll do that. I need to lose some weight anyway. I gained some. And I thought you're coming up with kids classes.
We've got a new kids brand coming soon.
I have
Can't
3.
wait to start. We might give you a discount for 3. Okay, Rainer,
Buy 1, free
really
2.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.